Yes.
What am I looking at specifically? Yes, got it. Wide mushroom brim. Love it. No, I'm a Vrungrel. Mm. Oh gosh, what can I what else? Uh, Crime. You had me smuggle some items, and you and Nita, you both keep coming to me to help smuggle these items or people onto the ships that are going down the locks. You got this smuggling ring. Uh, what promise did you make me agree to should you die on the battlefield? Okay. I thought you were going to say delete the browser history, but okay. Both Spidgets. Ooh, 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 ooh. No. Me? I don't know if I'm ready for that. Okay. All right, you noobs. Stand forward into a line. Let's talk about what we're gonna do. I'm your leader now. He said. Never. So I thanks. This is my first position of power. That's a great idea. Let's go to Szechuan. That's what we would like to do. Yes. I'm first in line, so yes, mine. Can you speak? He pokes the dwarf. Anybody speak Dwarven? The formations, everybody. You make steam, right? Oh, she's found some criminals. Oh, there's a missing beam here. Let's investigate. I I was gonna say I have an experience called investigating for contraband, so I'd like to use that to see if the contraband is here or not here. If that's okay. Oh, excellent. Yep, got it. And yep. So that would be a 19 with hope. W- am I g- am I good enough to look at the escape portal where the bars are and see if there's maybe anything that's scraped along the bottom where the rock is? Sure. I can acknowledge that'll work for me. 16 with hope. File work was fine. It's definitely cut from the inside. The thing that they had must have been huge, and they couldn't fit that through the bars, so it might still be here. They escaped, though, through these bars for sure. A clue. I will follow you. stealing. Any particularly used duels? Sorry, Atrax. Okay. Very well could be. Or like they may have left the item still in here. Yeah, it's about this big, and he like waves his arms in a larger than him size. It's I'm +0. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, yes, hope yeah. Yeah. Uh, I don't think they could have gotten that out of the bars. Maybe that's it? Uh, a really big bolt? Oh, oh, oh. Now that I think about it, this is a wrench that we use all over the place. Uh, it's called a slam wrench. It's for really big bolts. I'm a big bolt. Let's bring this up. Oh. Are there any sledgehammers that were in the proximity of this thing? Ooh. Mm, a mystery. Yep. Well, let's take the sledgehammer and the slam wrench upstairs and show them. Let's see if it fits out the window. Mm. Yeah, we found that there are actually these things which are called slam wrenches, and they are operated all over the place for really big projects. Maybe one or two of them are missing. That would explain the noises that they were making. That's just a special talent. We need to take this slam wrench with us. Thank you, though. All right, come on, come on. You've had enough fun with your questions. Come on, let's go. Let's stop bothering this nice lady. Okay, let's have a plan. Very shady. We should definitely lock her up. Oh, yeah, for sure. My idea is let's follow the scaffolding on the outside and see if there's any footprints or something. The person came out here from there, so let's follow the trail from the outside. Or oh, lots of options. Hmm. He starts to make a pondery face. Norbin, you know him? Delicious. Oh, I leave some. Hmm. Yeah, why not torch the place? Oh. So the culprit must be nearby because they don't want to use fire. Crime. So, what do these criminals look like? No, 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 no. The criminals you want us to kill down in the conduit. Oh, those guys. Knife coats. We're not trying to start a race war here. I'm sorry. Yeah, totally agree. And you just like write us a letter of condemnation or something, make it official. Knife guys. Hmm. Yeah, let's go to Durbin's. I think that's the best course of action. Right. Knock, knock. What y'all red for? Yeah, you're going to want to sit down for this.
Yeah, this is an official call.
Barges in.
Yeah, so you remember your shop? It was raided last night, and all signs kind of point to you right now. Well, it's not your shop anymore, but you are somebody who knows what was in it. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, that makes sense. Do they happen to have knives in their coats? Hmm.
For sure. So where's Brom right now? Let's see. So he'll be in his office usually. Curious. Any other questions from you all? You're off the hook for now, but we're gonna keep an eye on you. Yes.
We're rest. Yeah, we're rest coats. This is our business. Little green around the gills, eh? Seen any worms lately?
Yes.
Whoa there, nice save.
Do you push me out of the way?
I guess you have. Mhm. Hmm. It's my turn.
I'll throw. I'm just gonna throw my returning blade at the engineer closest to me, and then. Uh, uh, uh. Okay, I don't have anything at the moment that does anything against that. And a, 8 with fear. Not great. Hmm. I mean, it's next to me. Hit. I will use armor to negate 5 of that, and I'll take 1 HP. Rah!
Oh, Nita, watch out for that.
Yeah. Mhm. I'm going after this engineer in front of me. Bolt is going in after the engineer in front of him. Here we go. 6 with hope. Mm.
What's wrong with this blade? Tap, tap, tap.
My bad. Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say I'm gonna use 3 armor slots at 5 apiece to zero that out. Okay, 1 it is. Okay, and then that brings it or my severe is 16, so that brings it down to minor. Oh yeah, shield.
Guess I'm gonna try again. Returning blade, go! Third time's a charm. Oh, a 16 with fear. And 7 points of damage. Magical.
I'll take a stress to I'm your shield. Uh, yep. So that'll be minor for me.
That's what the shield's for. Oh no. That's not good. 9.
Oh, small. I also have forceful push, which does make them vulnerable.
That'll never come back to us.
Drex go?
Something do something. So that is, yeah, I kind of jinxed myself. This is kind of a low damage roll, so that's 7 total.
7 is in its major. That is all the hit points it had left.
Yeah, just
Nice.
just as it was like staring at Atarax, it gets a dagger straight through the side of its head.
Yeah, you can watch Atarax as it lunges forward towards you, hitting you, and as it does so, it kind of just stops. The follow through is not there, and the clatter of the wrench on the ground as Blooms stabs it in the side of the head, and it deflates at your feet. That was with Hope. Play remains with you.
Bro.
It's my turn. Yes, let's kill.
I'm going to use my returning blade at this range, at close range,
Okay.
and slap that thing.
Okay.
13 with fear. Oh, it's a
13.
crit! It's a crit! It's a crit!
It's
Six
a
and
crit.
six-
That's not a fear.
Six
There
and
it
6
is.
and 1. Yeah.
Okay, so
Nice.
that means that you clear a stress, you gain a hope. The damage that you do on your attack is the maximum plus you roll another die.
So it's 8 plus another 8. 16 on that little guy.
16. Poor
Nice,
guy only
good.
had 1 hit point left, and you absolutely reduced him to nothing.
Good.
You got a crit to like stomp on a bug.
That's what happened
No.
there.
Don't ruin the moment.
He stands all proud. He's like
It's a crit, man.
shiny armor.
Yeah. There goes my D20. God knows where it's at now.
Into the abyss.
There he is. Okay. Well, a crit is a success with hope and then some. What do you guys want to do?
2 enemies left. Who's up?
Water Lily. I will bonk the little glowy guy on the head with my
Okay.
dual
Your
staff.
far step? Okay.
And let me see. I can. I will also spend a hope for my elementalist.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to use the other one and actually add 3 bonus to the roll's damage. So let's see if we
Okay.
can do this. Ooh, 14 with hope.
14 with hope does succeed.
Okay. Six, 7, 8. 9 points of damage.
Okay. You guys really love bullying these guys when they've got 1 hit point left. So as Water Lily smashes the last one, what do you guys want to do with this last guy? How do you guys take him down? And do you want to?
I think we should question him.
Well,
Yeah,
we can question him when he's dead, because we're fungal.
That is
Oh.
true.
If no one objects, I'd like to walk up to him and use my runes.
Okay. Yeah. You put the hand to him. How do you want to do this?
I show him the hand because the wrist is pissed. She basically just reaches out and pats him on the top of the head and says, there. And on the second one, she just holds her hand on his scalp, and he just kind of, the runes flare, and he just sort of deflates.
Yeah. Falling down, he almost like a balloon, all of the air let out of it. It goes slimy and moist in your hand as it falls to the ground.
Ew.
good.
I reach in my bag and pull out a hanky.
I was about to say, could I reach into my bag, get like a jar of some sort, and sort of collect the samples?
If that's what you'd like to do, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it might be useful. Someone could look into it. Not our job, but someone could look
Well-
into it.
Well, I definitely want to use my death connection to try to
Mhm.
get a memory out of one of the corpses.
Okay. So, does that require a roll, or is that a thing that just happens?
It for death connection, when touching a corpse that died recently, you can mark a stress to extract one
Okay.
memory from the corpse related to a specific emotion or sensation of your choice.
Okay. Then choose your emotion or sensation. Like, if
Um,
you want to see what it saw, or
So I'm going to say for my sensation, I'm going to say like the sensation is receiving a command.
okay.
So what if it received some kind of like command? What did it receive from whatever infection or whatever that the body received? I guess, does that make sense?
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So you put your hand on one of the engineer's deflated corpses, and you can feel control as an emotion that runs through you. You recognize it well. The one command it was given, and this command was from an authoritative voice of destroy.
Okay.
And there are plenty of corpses and plenty of fun girls if you guys want to do more.
Yes, that actually leads to the thing that I wanted to do.
Okay.
Conveniently enough, is I want to try another one of them. What I was going to reach for was the last time, the visual memory of the last time someone addressed it with authority.
Okay. Beautiful. Darkness is what you see. Lights flickering. Um, the sound of pipes rattling and water and an emotion of control, of authority, of something is controlling this. You understand your mycelial network. This is sort of like that, where something is, these are almost hive minded, these creatures. And it's not just one thing with this memory, there are multiple. It is built up of multiple of these worm like creatures. And it is in a dark void that is one of many, but you're certain it's down in the conduit.
Can I tell if these creatures are animals as opposed to monsters, or is there no differentiation in Daggerheart?
There isn't a real different, like, there's not a beast or a aberration. There's no typing to them. It seems animal like in nature. It is worm like, but the structure of them is not, it does not seem to be of this world. Not anything
Okay.
you've seen before.
I'm gonna go
Elves,
run
did
over
you
and
want one?
I was gonna. No, I don't want to. My action would be to run over to the conduit and check it out, and see, like, is the pipe damaged? Is it still
Oh.
good?
It looks like these the pipes were dented. Somebody's going to need to do some work in here. There is, it's almost not. Some of it is a little too hot to touch.
What tools did they use?
They were using their wrenches, but they were like monkey wrenches,
Okay.
and they weren't using them to turn anything. They were using them to smash things.
Okay.
Like, they've lost, like, these are clearly engineers. Some of them might have been people you had seen in passing.
Well, I guess we can need to take these wrenches for evidence into the bag.
Is there anything in the way of like an intercom?
I was going to
Not really.
suggest, uh, if we know any like fungirls in the Rust, within our
The
like
Rustcoats?
group, yeah, Rustcoats, we could. I was going to suggest like one of the fungirls in our group send
Like,
information
call
to
them.
someone we know, yeah. And like this is a bigger
Yeah.
problem than we thought.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I will report
Um,
back. That seems like something I should do.
Yeah.
I'd like to try to get one more memory from the third corpse.
Sure.
And this is going to be a different sensation as well, so I'll be
Okay.
marking another stress. I want to know when the first time they noticed feeling ill, like if there was anything that, like if it was like, oh man, that was a bad dish of sausage or something like that. Yeah, how'd they get sick?
Yeah. So you get a sensation of hot and then cold, and it is a tight claustrophobic feeling, steam roiling everywhere, and a flash of a creature, a humanoid shaped thing like a sack of skin crawling with worms.
Okay, well, that's there's something down there that is infecting people.
Yeah, this is bigger than any of
Yeah,
us
we
could
definitely
really
need to
handle.
call someone. We should definitely call someone.
Yeah, let's inform our captain or someone in our group or someone in, like within the Rustcoats to inform our captain or whoever has higher authority and just tell them what we know so far, that this infection is bigger than we thought and there's definitely some in the water now. And this pipe is damaged. Someone needs to come here.
Yeah.
Okay. Bolts, you wanted to report?
Report in. Here's that
Okay.
here's that instinct roll. 13 with hope.
13 with hope. Go ahead and give
Nice.
yourself a hope. You contact somebody that you remember that is a regular in the bridge wardens, not one of your lower tier rust coats, somebody with some authority. And your response back is not thrilling.
Oh,
You didn't have a great relationship with this fungrel, but the rust coats are typically not. They're a police force and they are looked down on by the regulars of the bridge wardens, and they say, "That's fine. Why don't you go down and figure it out? That's your job."
sure, but
Doesn't
somebody's gonna
sound
need
bad.
to fix this pipe, and we should probably have somebody get that done. I'm just giving you an update. You don't need to be terse with
Otherwise, we
me.
all die.
I'll put in a requisition. I'll make sure that somebody from the pipe fit is notified.
Great, you're a fun guy. Anybody else got anything to say over here? And I mentioned, I realized that nobody can like hear what I'm saying, and I'm like,
Well,
oh,
I can.
never mind.
Like a like a three-way call going on over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It
so
seems that the higher ups want to leave the this dirty work to you.
I mean, yeah. So,
I still think
we're on our own, and this pipe will get fixed at some point. He like gestures with the wrench. It'll get fixed some point. It'll probably be me,
Of
but
course.
I think that we need to move along.
we need to go see Bram.
Yeah, it's time.
Yep.
Okay. So you take the elevator down to
Ooh.
the bottom of the hub, where as you're riding, Atarax, what do you think about these parasitic worms? What does Atarax think about them?
Well, on one hand, he thinks he could use it as like bait for fishing, but on the other hand, honestly, uncomfortable. It's just something's not right. It's alien. Like, don't know how else to describe it. Just alien, I suppose.
And Water Lily, how do you think they intend to destroy the bridge?
Hmm. Well, there's only two ways that you can destroy it. Take out the pillars underneath the end, or have a system overload.
I think the latter is what they want to do, and sort of flood it with themselves.
We're not in a ladder. We're in an elevator.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The elevator down to the Steam Rights office is actually just at the edge of the hub, where the hub and the conduit meet. It's sort of like this large wall, a bulwark of concrete. There is a massive set of iron doors, and a smaller door inlaid into it at the bottom. Few people in Angara have seen these large doors open. Water Lily might be the only one that has, and it doesn't happen very often. Inside, you find a tall tunnel. There are several doors here. Lights crackle and flicker, and the sound of the sluice waters create a hum that fills up the space, and it almost puts pressure on your ears. You can see off one of the doors off the tunnel, and Nita, you know where Bram sits. His otherwise inconspicuous door does have the words painted on them: Office of the Steamwright, Bram Althrin.
I will go up and knock.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
What? Who's there? Who's knocking on my door?
Some curious
Oh,
rust
Bram.
codes.
It's me, Bram.
The door flies open, and you see a halfling. His office is mostly co-opted by lab equipment. There's meters and electric, the bulbs that like fling electricity towards each other. It's very Dr. Frankenstein looking in here.
I kind of just step over him.
And at the
The
Bram
spokes
is
this.
he's got like a shock of dark hair and a scar that looks like a bad burn on one side of his face.
You got some problems down here.
I've got some invaders down here. What do you want?
We're solving a mystery.
Well,
more invaders in more ways than one down here.
I'd say that I don't know what you're talking about. But
you don't know anything about the glowy worm things that are turning people into meat bags and trying to take out the piping to destroy the bridge?
I
I
should
know
sample.
everything about this building, but people are not really my specialty.
Okay,
I
did you
showed a
miss-
sample.
Ugh. Why do you carry stuff like that? It looks like it's disgusting.
Did
Is that
did
bait?
you miss the part where I explained to you that these little worm things are turning people into meat bags and trying to destroy the bridge?
That doesn't make any sense.
It's
Do you
true.
He
wanna-
does the
do you
Will
wanna
Smith
eat one of
meme.
them? Bram, we think that you stole a very valuable piece of equipment, and
I
we
stole
can make.
things?
Yeah, you did,
Uh-huh.
or under suspicion. We have reason to believe.
Oh. Okay. So this is a shakedown is what this is.
No, did you get someone to do it for you?
Or did you do it? Defend yourself.
I mean, I didn't do any of those things. I have no idea what did I steal? Tell me.
It's the what are they called? Pump wrenches, right?
Slam wrenches.
Slam wrenches.
Big ol' honkin' slam wrench.
I mean, look at me. Do you think I could carry a slam wrench?
I think you could hire
obviously
someone to
hired
carry
someone,
one.
Yeah.
I mean, I could hire a lot of people, that's for sure. I'm on the Council of Glass. I get paid quite a bit. Not to mention, I have my own funds. I could definitely do that, but why would I?
So you don't have to pay. And
For
also,
what?
you're like one of the very few people who could actually use one.
I mean, I've got Gabby and Ert and Blessed. Like, I've got plenty of people that could use them. We kind of need them. Like, I buy them from Dorbans all the time. You have no idea how many times a slam wrench gets broken around here.
You
So what
mentioned
did?
3 other people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
some of the Steam rights, the people that work for me.
You seen them in a while?
Now that I think about it, no, not in a while. Nobody's come by in a while. They do their job. They haven't asked any questions. Really, they only come to me whenever they need, you know, money for things like buying tools and stuff.
so where are you
Any of them
getting?
been sick lately?
What was that?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So where are you getting them now that Dorbin's store's closed?
Dobbins is closed. When did
Has
that
been
happen?
has been for a few months.
Oh, I haven't had to buy anything in a while. Nobody's come by.
I thought you saying
Any of
you're
your
replacing things every day.
Not every day. I mean, there's business being done. It felt like every day, but maybe I'm being a little facetious.
are all 3 of your secondaries human or like normal person? You know, humanoid, regular tallies.
Wow, that's racist.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, you know, meat creatures.
yes, there are plenty of them. I mean,
But of the ones you mentioned.
yes, Gabby is a human, Ert is an orc, and Blessed, well, I mean, no offense, Blessed is one of your types.
And the feat that I saw was like an average human, right?
Yeah,
An orc would be big. It's not going to be a fun girl.
probably not a fun girl.
Do you do you keep your slim wrenches here in your shop here? The ones that are under
Oh
your own
no,
provision, or they're just owned by the
they're the Steam rights. They hold on to the uh, tools in the tool chests, and he kind of jerks his thumb out the towards the door and says, "They're across the hall in inventory."
Oh, great.
Any of your people been sick lately?
Uh, yeah, I think Baymont called in sick a couple of days ago. Said food poisoning.
Could I take someone aside real quick? Anyone who's like good at investigations and whatnot. Who would that be?
I be okay. It
Knowledge and
is
I got
instinct would be
instinct.
the roles you'd want.
yeah.
Instinct. I have a +4 to instinct.
We have a plus
Mind if
four.
I pull you aside, Water Lily?
Yes.
Just while our fungal friends are interrogating him, I was thinking we should look over this guy's equipment and see if it matches anything like in the sample. I jiggle the sample in my hand.
Ah, yes. I will look around to see if I see anything that is remotely close.
Sure. You can make a knowledge or instinct roll.
Instinct. I would like to also use a hope and use information overload.
Okay. That's your ability.
Experience.
My
Yeah. Oh,
experience.
is that your experience? Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Critical success.
Okay.
2 double twos.
You get the hope back, and you clear a stress. You get what you want and a little bit more. That little bit more. Looking around here, these are all experiments. They don't look like there's anything here that might help you until you look past all of the electronic things to some of the more analog things, like the giant map of the conduit, where there are scribbles and writings that look like they would be in Bram's hand on this large map that might help you find anything you're looking for in the conduit, as it is quite the maze.
I'm going to point out the map and say, observe.
Like, what do you think it
Let's
means?
go
All
check out.
this scribbling.
Should we check out the toolbox across the hall?
Yeah.
And what was the name of the one he said that was sick?
Baymont?
Baymon. And did he say what race he is?
He did not.
Okay. What species is Baymon?
One of them, the shelled ones, the Galapas.
Ah, the turtle.
Turtle. Let's go have a look.
Do we grab the map as well? Or do you think like we can sort of memorize an idea of what it is, or should I quickly sketch? What do you think, Water Lily?
Water Lily, it's likely you could probably memorize that. Given
I would say. I got it.
Great,
It's all here in my tinker.
awesome. I wish I had that sort of memory.
Okay.
Always remember, when in doubt, Water Lily is perfect.
No doubt, you.
Am I done
Perfect.
grilling this guy, or you guys got any more questions to ask
Yeah,
him?
you got do you know any youths with jagged knives in and around here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Jagged Knife band, and he puts air quotes up, they're bandits. Bunch of kids playing it, being thieves, I think.
Oh, okay, of course, yeah. Do you know where they hang out?
And he kind of points towards the map. He's like, well, I've seen them here, and I've seen them here. And then he kind of like puts like runs a finger and kind of mumbles under his breath. And if anybody would like to make an instinct roll,
I would.
Would I get low light living for advantage in an area with low light and heavy shadow to like perceive things?
yeah, sure. If
Okay.
the both of you want to try and roll separately, you certainly can.
Absolutely.
Sure.
It'll be an instinct with advantage.
Oh, wait, that's instinct.
Instinct.
And I rolled a 22 with fear.
Okay.
Or no, with hope, sorry.
With hope.
I rolled a 25 with hope.
Okay.
Woo!
You both gain hope. The mumbling that he does is near to imperceptible, but you kind of pick up on the lips as he moves them, blooms, and confirmed by Nita, which is kind of on the other side of him. He says, "No, that one's empty. The giant void has got it's like fallen in, so there's nobody that's over there. But I think I've seen some of them over here." And then he kind of pulls at his chin, and you can see him scratching at the scar all over his face where his teeth are almost exposed, and he says, "Yeah, there's a couple of spots where they might be." And he kind of mumbles, "I sure hope they don't, they are not causing any trouble, my poor boys." Like, almost like he cares about them.
Well,
I have a question.
I'm sure they're not. I'm sure. Look, this. I'm sure everything can be. Just. I'm going to spend a point of hope for Deaf Deceiver. Look, these kids. They're just kids. They just. They make mistakes, and it is our job to when they get into trouble. But we'll give them a good talking to. We're not gonna hurt them, we're not gonna just beat them within an inch of their life with phone books. We're not gonna do anything to them. We just want to talk to them, and there's some concerns, so they might have we just need to want to move them away from any kind of danger in the future. Be good community leaders.
I assume because you're going to use the Deaf Deceiver that
Yes.
that is not your intention.
Absolutely not. No, I
go
promised
ahead and
my
roll.
friends that I would
You would handle it.
yeah, I would handle it.
Okay, go ahead and roll a presence roll.
Okay. That is a 13 with fear.
13 with fear. Bram nods and says, "Yeah, they're good kids. They're real good kids." And then he turns towards you, Blooms, and as he's kind of walking by, he grabs his small cane and points it at your chest and says, "If you do anything to them, I will know about it, and I will not be happy." And he kind of taps you on the chest and says, "Take the key, since you want to go look at the storage boxes, and then just return it."
Huh?
Nita will snag it.
Okay.
I have a quick question, if I may.
Yeah.
Where could I find Gabby, Blushit, and
Sorry, what? Where could you find what?
the people in the Steam rights you mentioned, Gabby, Blushit, and
Well, if they're working today, you'd find them. And he turns back towards the map with his cane and slaps it on. They're probably in B3 or B4, right over there. I heard that there were probably some problems over there, but if not, they might be in Sector 12. And he kind of goes all the way across to the other side of the map. But that's really, Gabby doesn't like getting into those tighter spaces, so she kind of sends the Bleshit up there to go do that sort of thing. He's real small.
Looking at those sections B3, B4, and section 12, which one is close to Sijuan's?
Given that the fact that the conduit's down at the base level and there is the core above that, Sedgewarn's is in the center. It would be almost entirely above the hub. B3 and B4 would be kind of close to that area, I think.
Okay.
So if someone was going to bust a pipe up above where this elevator was, I kind of describe it. What kind of damage would that do?
Oh,
We
you're
just
talking about at the power works shelf?
Yeah, I think we found some engineers messing with the power works. They were banging on a pipe.
That. Well, you've heard about the standoff, right?
In passing.
Long time ago.
Yeah, so if everything that's behind that portion of the power work shelf is the battery vault, and if you got into the battery vault or disrupted its flow, you could blow the whole place sky high. After all, that's what stopped the Seldani.
That's what the wormies are trying to do.
Well, then I guess you better find them.
Yes.
Dang.
We'll, swing
Scary.
by,
I think we
guess
should.
We'll be
Go ahead.
able to swing by to the talk with our young ne'er do well friends on the way over.
I imagine. I mean, if you find them, that
Okay.
they are slackborn, so you know they're not doing anything
Oh, sure.
for the bridge.
Of course.
I guess we're
I
done
think
here.
we should
We'll-
bypass the tool section and just
Yeah.
head for.
We'll take
head
a look
for
at those
whichever
tools.
we-
We'll take a look at those tools, and we'll be back in a little bit. So, thanks, Brom.
Yeah. So, if you guys would like to, we are getting close to the 3-hour mark, which is usually where I kind of wind things down. We can keep going, or you guys can take a short rest, and we can kind of narrate out the rest of the situation that we find here.
I do want to kind of talk a little bit about how I want to find the Slackborn kids.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going to go to talk with them. I'm going to try to go cloaked, and one of them will just be like Batman, i.e., and by Batman I really mean more Predatored. He's just going to be like flayed alive. He's just going to be flayed in an alley somewhere. With a bunch of spores left over.
Beautiful. Leaving a message. So, at some point in time, after you guys have cleared up this issue, the terror of a cloaked individual covered in worms, using slam wrenches to try and that's the power workshop, trying to flood the entirety of the bridge by opening up several valves, which you deftly remove their ability to do so quickly and efficiently. But this mass, this thing that they called Father, terrifying, and you know that probably has infected others on the bridge at this point. So, Nita, what were some things that you did during this battle?
I think one of the things she would have done is taken the opportunity to try to communicate with the worms directly. And possibly see if she could speak to their motives, negotiate, discover a weakness.
Yeah. So what you kind of find from them is that this collective believes that the bridge is in their way. It is stopping their journey. They made it in through filters and pipes and infested Father, the first one, and he infested everyone else. And they wish for the bridge's destruction so that more of them can flow from wherever they came from.
That's fucking creepy.
Okay.
Well, that's not
Atarax,
happening.
what did you do in this battle that was so heroic?
I think I would have been on the verge of death, like trying to do my best to protect my allies. And sort of like my orcish ancestry has like the sturdy feet. So it's like using that as like the premise of me like surviving all these blows and taking hits from my allies. Yeah, and just doing my best to make sure everyone stays up and alive.
Yeah. A hero that stands for all others. It's an important thing to be. Bolts, what did you find interesting in this battle?
That the green tube, or that is a green tube back there. Yes.
Yeah, there's a big water one in the back for sure.
And there appears to be some sort of shadowy cloaked figure.
Yep, this
I
would
would
be father right here.
I would want to. I would just want to learn more about Father. I find him very interesting and um, just somebody who is a person of interest.
Yeah. I think one of the things that you probably would learn about his motives, he would have probably relayed um, that they intended to flood the bottom floors of the conduit and then infest everyone in the bridge,
Yes.
making them into their eyes and ears on the surface.
Who do you work for?
The zombie apocalypse.
For sure. Water Lily, this battle took a lot out of you. Did you make it out alive?
You did. But I will say I have a lot of nicks, scratches, bumps, dents. Definitely gonna have to take my pieces off and reshape myself.
I was gonna say maybe that'll buff out, maybe it won't.
I have
Maybe I'll have a
I have sparing touch, which can do 2 hit points or 2 stress per long rest. Maybe
Yeah.
my first bit of spell casting learns to heal you. My hands, they're magic.
It's almost like being good at fixing things, and it's there is something about Water Lily that is intriguing to Bolts as a somebody who works on machinery.
Oh, you're
I
so
think
cool.
I know. Oneshot.
So
I think
uh,
that blush.
go ahead.
Okay, I think that Nita would try to negotiate a way for them to continue their journey without interfering with the bridge. Like, basically, she'll try to like negotiate, like, I don't know, like creating a funnel, a tunnel for them, or like establishing a route that they can utilize. Basically, something that will allow them to continue their journey without harming the
Yeah.
bridge.
The worm cannon?
Trying to
Like
invest
a worm
that
cannon.
that would not end well for anybody downstream, but for you, it would be fine.
Worm slingshot?
Worm shot.
So, I hope you guys had a good time learning the Daggerheart system and playing. I I think that everything. There are a lot of people that are this week and probably this month playing some of the one shots that they produced during the original section. This one was entirely on my side of things. It's a little less saccharine, a little bit more scary. At least what I was trying to go for, and I hope you guys had a good time.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you
I,
for running.
Yeah, I like the system. I was kind of curious to see how because I don't know, for me when I heard that like the I guess like the Critical Role crew were gonna make their own RPG, I was kind of curious. Is it just gonna be like, not to, no shade on Paizo, but like it's just, you know, D&D like how different was it gonna be
Yeah, is it just going to
from
be
base D&D?
Yeah.
I mean, they have the range system, which is like a lot of like more Theater of the Mind games have it, so that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they're trying to thread some needles here.
Oh, sure.
You guys, I have to jet. My dog is looking at me very pointedly.
It is that time. All right, guys.
See ya,
I want
Dana.
to just say thank you. If you
See you guys. Thank you
consider
so much.
Yep. See ya, Dana. If you guys consider giving me an attaboy, I would very much appreciate it. If you have any feedback for me, let me know. I'll probably continue to run Daggerheart stuff if you're interested.
Yeah, cool. So I was kind of curious, like, what does the like NPC stuff look like? Because I think it's interesting that like the NPCs roll a d20.
Sure.
Is it just I've been playing a lot of Lancer lately too. Are like NPCs kind of like more like Lancer classes where it's just like you have basically like combat functions rather like, and then you can like mix and match whether they're like veterans or you know they have special abilities, or does it have like kind of a more maybe 40 monster kind of type thing where it's just this is a lich or a dragon or whatever?
It gives vibes like there are like roles, so there are 10 of them. There's bruisers and
yeah, skirmishers,
hordes and minions and that sort of thing. So like this guy was a bruiser. He's going to hit hard and he's got a lot of hit points. And this guy was a leader, so he tells his dudes to do things. These guys were ranged, so they were going to stay back as far as they could and shoot from a distance. And they're kind of all like that. They fall into one of those those roles, and that was some of what I worked on for the book was explaining how those roles work, and like if you build an adversary, this is what it'll look like. And I will actually bring this over here and show you that it looks that from the book's perspective. And I'm sharing my screen again. These are what the stat blocks look like. So they've got difficulties and thresholds, like your evasion on your side, and thresholds are thresholds, hit points are hit points, stress is stress. They only have one attack modifier. It can be a plus or a minus. How they attack, how close they do it, how much damage they can do. And if I spent a fear, I could apply situational bonuses using their experiences. And then they have abilities that some of which are passive, some of them are reactions, and some of them are just actions that other than their regular standard attack. So while I've never seen Lancer, these feel like somewhere in between. Like their shot was for let's make some 4E creatures, but then give it kind of like a D&D feel, like a modern D&D feel.
Yeah.
But when you make these features, you can just make whatever you want. It just like the balance of it is very vibes based on the features. The only things that are mechanical are realistically kind of up here.
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of how it is a little bit for Lancer. It's just like even more like you don't even. It's not. Nothing's been like arranged into like preset kind of like monsters or anything. It's just like here's like these 10 stats, and then like they give you like a base kit, and then there's like a several. Each class comes with like several kind of like alternate kits where it's like okay, this is their they get this special reaction or like. And then, depending on like what level or tier or how like badass or not badass you want them to be. So like there are still grunt. I don't know. Does this have grunts where it's just like enemies with 1 hit point?
1 hit point.
They just die.
They have minions.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense as well for Lancer because it's as a player, you get to customize your mech any way you want. So
Yeah. Well, the other thing is like, I mean, the biggest problem with D&D is like hit point inflation is so bad for D&D, and I've been in so many like D&D combats or like Pathfinder combats where like it just drags on and on because like like bandits like have all bandits have like a bunch of hit points, and like no one's rolling can roll a like more than like a 3 on damage or whatever.
And these kind of abstract that. So the most hit points you're going to see is something's got like a leader or a solo monster is going to have
something
like
that's going to be
8 to 10.
boss. Oh
yeah, so something that's going to be a boss is going to end up having more hit points. When you get into like tier 3 and tier 4, they have solo monsters that have lower hit points but like have multiple forms. So like the Realm Breaker turns into the undefeated champion when you drop his 8 hit points, and he gets 11 more hit points, and then you gotta fight him all over again. Yep. So a lot of that stuff is kind of like, it's super vibes based.
Yeah. And Lancer also kind of does that. I mean, like, I say Lancer does it when really it was 4E that did it. 4E kind of did it. And then
4E is revolutionary. Who knew?
4E, 4E turns out 4E is the best version of D&D.
I mean,
the one I started on, so
well, I mean, in my opinion, like the reason why it rules is because we're just gonna be a miniatures combat game, really, and we're not gonna pretend that we're like.
I mean, WoW was popular at the time, so I know they definitely. I remember.
Oh, it was definitely
totally WoW. So. Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely WoW, but also it was just like a solid minis combat, like a solid. Because I used to play like a lot of back in the day. I used to play a lot of like War Machine, and like it's just like a solid like 4E and like it's other games that are more inspired by it. They're just like solid miniatures combat games, like. Just like a solid, they just function super well.
Yeah, the numbers could be tighter, I think, in combat. I don't know what you guys were looking at hit point wise, but I think just given the fact that what you guys were fighting were just like standards and hordes, they can do some damage, but there's a feeling like if you're rolling with fear a lot, that that it's gonna make for a tougher battle, and then it just kind of like drags things.
Yeah, I had 4 damage and 4 HP worth of damage and 3 stress, which got healed. But yeah, took a bit of hit.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been rolling like my character just had like 6 hit points, and I only had the Gambuson armor, which gives me like 3 armor slots, but it upped my evasion by 1. So I had like a 13 evasion, and then like if we got through the next fight, I would have done the Rogue's Hope to get to bump my evasion up to 2, so I'd be like at 15.
Yeah,
I had healing.
Short rest in there.
Yeah.
So I probably like and I guess like when you take all your hit point damage, are you just like out of the fight, or is there any way to like
you make a death move, so you choose what you do. You can go out in a blaze of glory and like succeed critically on the move that you make, but your character's dead, or you can risk it all, and if you roll a certain number or higher, then you pop back up at like half health, or you can just like go unconscious in the fight and take a scar.
Okay.
I thought the risk it all is like gotta roll with the hope, right?
I don't remember.
Risk it all's the crazy one.
Yeah.
That's just like you're gonna
roll your duality dice. If the hope die is higher, your character stays on their feet and
there you go.
Clears an amount of hit points or stress equal to the value of the hope die divided by the hope.
Oh,
my god.
Well, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So either you gamble, automatic succeed, or you just pass out.
Yeah.
By another day.
Yeah. I think there's some narrative heft to the system.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That that I appreciate them putting mechanics around. Some people don't like the scar system when you avoid death because it takes one of your hope permanently away. But I think everything can be narratively healed on your character. It just is what the story.
Yeah,
What part of the story are you investigating?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like the question is like how often do you get like character like PC death?
I
Like, is it
haven't
pretty
had it
often?
happen.
You haven't had it
I
happen?
don't think it is.
Okay.
I think it's kind of balanced. Like the combat that we did was balanced for it was going to. It's an easier combat.
Sure.
So the idea
But
is that your
also,
characters are supposed to be more heroic.
but also there was a lot of fear, so
Yeah, you guys started out with a lot of fear rolls, which did not help things.
but we got
It
some hope at
almost
the
is
end.
like, yeah, I mean, I appreciate it because like some people would be like, oh my god, all of this fear racking up. I don't want to do anything.
I had that feeling for a little bit, but at the same time, I realized that if I don't do anything, then that fear's just going to stick around.
Yeah, you don't do anything like you don't if you don't engage with the main mechanic, you don't feel
Mm-hmm.
hope.
Mm-hmm.
Hope fuels so many things that it makes it
Yeah.
difficult to not engage.
I was hoping one of us could try to do a tag team, but I stayed on 2 hope the whole time. Like I
Yeah,
helped
I,
once and then I rolled a hope.
Yeah, I really like started gaining it as the combat.
Yeah,
went on.
you sure
And-
did.
And like I was
Were you at
definitely because
full?
I definitely felt that like okay, there's gonna be another combat coming. I didn't know if we would have time for it, but like I was definitely
Mm.
gonna save it for that evasion bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I'm definitely interested in the system. I definitely want to play more of it. And I mean I'm probably more of because I'm just like more of a theater of the mind person already, and also because like
Yeah.
I play a lot of games where like combat is so deadly at a core point
Yeah.
that it's almost not even what you would but yeah, I do think especially with like death moves and stuff, if you're not getting like some kind of risk like for doing it, like it's kind of like what's the you gotta
What's the point?
I like the scar system. I think it's a fine idea.
I like it too.
Because like also I've done a lot of like Blades in the Dark. Like Blades in the Dark
Mhm.
also has a similar like traumas and
Yeah. So some of the people that worked on Blades in the Dark worked on this book too. So
Right,
And,
John
and
Harper
it's a
was
way to avoid
credited.
death.
yeah, I think that there's some narratively diverse ways to go about it and exploring those sorts of things. I like that it doesn't just cater to one specific type of fantasy. Like there are a lot of
Mhm.
people that are playing high fantasy in Daggerheart, but the campaign frames, like they're doing Age of Umbra, which is like Dark Souls, but they've got one that's Beast Feast, which is basically
Dungeon
delicious in
Meshi.
dungeon. Yeah, it's Dungeon Meshi is what it is.
Okay, nice.
They've got the Wither Wild, Five Banners Burning, which is supposed to be like a more of a political intrigue campaign frame. And it's not like they say, here's what you're going to do, or here's like a thing that happens.
Oh, jeez.
So this one, Colossus of the Drylands, is the one that Spencer Stark, the main game developer, created. It's basically like that video game, the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadows of the Colossus. So when I had mentioned something about making a kaiju battle, so the last time I played Daggerheart, I had this giant. The back half of a ship a person had turned into the back half of a ship and used that as like a giant like kaiju mech to fight the party. And those aren't things I would necessarily ever try to do in D&D. But then I had mentioned that on Reddit, and Spencer's like, "Hey, I saw you said something about kaiju. Boy, do I have something for you!" And he sent me this about a year ago, and I reread it again today, and I was like, "Damn, this thing is crazy!" So the idea is that like each piece, they've got like a head, a neck, an arm, wings, and you're supposed to like jump up on top of these things and fight them individually.
Yeah,
and that was their like test campaign.
Oh, interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that like they have like some of that stuff built in already, so
Yeah.
that it's easy for you to like. Because I definitely also like kaiju, but I'm probably more of a I kind of like more how it's done in the game system Rain. If you guys know what that one is.
I've never heard of it, but
yeah, so Rain is about basically it's a game where you're basically like the PCs are all leaders of some kind of like faction or company. So it has both like kind of the player phase as well as like the company phase. Company is just like the generic term, so it could be like a mercenary band or like a small nation or like city state or crime syndicate or something.
yeah.
And they have rules for what's called enemies of awful scale. So like you're the guys managing the Japanese SDF fighting Godzilla or like the Incredible Hulk or and they have like a really interesting way to like frame those fights, because there are things that a like giant monster can do that a like army can't do, as well as like things a giant monster can do that it can't do that an army can do way better. But yeah, and that's like a more abstract system. Like you don't need to get out as much stuff.
Well, I'm a big fan of maps and minis. I do like the bigger craziness.
I just like I just got tired of doing the work of it. Is like that's
Yeah,
my like 90% of my thing. I
totally
rather
get that.
and like honestly, like the thing that I like doing more work for is the writing rather than the drawing maps and stuff.
Yeah, I think everybody finds their own little niche.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I appreciate that Daggerheart gives a lot of opportunities to like that. Colossus of the Drylands is like cowboys in the desert, but also giant kaiju. And Motherboard is a futuristic one. We just ran through Steamplunk. It doesn't have to be, and that's what I think they're not putting things in one area and encouraging, for the most part, this to be just like a framework for play rather than a one specific type of enjoyment.
Well, I think there's advantages and disadvantages to like both options.
Yeah.
But
well, and I think like disadvantage wise, they're trying to be a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's where like the frames come in, and then you can like add those extra mechanics that they have in them.
Yeah. So do the frames have like additional rules to them? They're not just like a setting thing. Like what
they do. So like this one is for Age of Umbra. That is basically like when you take a long rest, you can do, or a short rest, you can do some things, and then the DM gets some fear. But in Age of Umbra, you also have to roll.
Sure.
And those things might find you in the dark, as one of the examples. When you take a scar in Age of Umbra, your character gains an extra proficiency. They do more damage as they get more corrupted.
Sure.
I think this one's kind of like very much like these guys tell the story. It's just like everybody is having a bad time, and we're all having a good time having a bad time. The
Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe. But then you go to like this Beast Feast Dungeon Meshy is like, hey, at the end, you don't take downtime moves. You make a meal with each other based on the animals and monsters that you've collected. You have a cookbook that you put together and make food with. And the better you roll, the more matches you make, the better the meal, and the better the meal, the better the food, and the more downtime moves you can make. So clearing hit points, clearing stress, that sort of thing. Takes the entire downtime mechanic and gets rid of it and replaces it.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and these are just ideas. I don't think anything in Daggerheart is sacred. Right. I think they just kind of show these are what you can do. I think the only thing that they really care about, the duality dice and hope and fear and stress, I think are the meta currencies.
Yeah, I think that's really kind of like the key thing to it. For me at least, I definitely. It also definitely feels like a way less swingier, like dice.
And I mean,
Dice
it lets the
too.
GM play a bit more, if that makes sense. With
Yeah,
the
I
fears.
also saw that. I also saw that they like had the Star Wars, like the Genesis system, which also was like that was a big part of Genesis. Was also like you get a critical success that's also a critical failure. How do you explain that? And it's like that always opened like a really and like Genesis had some problems because it had like a bespoke dice system. But you still
Because you had
had
to
interesting
translate it.
things. And then I feel like that's kind of a little bit where this like hope and fear kind of comes from a little bit.
I think that a lot of new DMs are going to come into this system and play it and say, I don't know how to improv that well. And then it's going to be like, I don't know how to give bad consequences for roles. And people coming from D&D, like I have to like stop myself sometimes from asking for roles constantly, like the way D&D kind of encourages that behavior.
Yeah,
Because
honestly, like I fixed that by not having not been playing D&D for like years. Like it's very easy to it's a very normal thing to do for like any other system.
I'm crazy and I like Pathfinder 2E so far.
Yeah.
So,
So I could see like I can see a lot of people coming into this from like being players in D&D or just like watching Critical Role and then getting into it and being like, what am I supposed to do here? I don't understand. And then like walking
Well, that
away
was
from
also
the system.
D&D's thing too. Like
I
D&D also
think
was
so.
that.
So I think it's a good system. I think that we're probably going to see more of it. It's sold out their entire stock. I think the only way people are going to get a hold of them is they've sold some to like Barnes and Noble and Books a Million, and Amazon has some too. But like the Critical Role shop is empty, and I don't think they're going to get any reprints for what with all of the I guess gestures wildly about me stuff going on in the world. Who knows what that's gonna it's gonna take to get another set of books out. But
yeah, because I know they also have like cards too, right?
They do. So all of the stuff that's on your demi-plane sheet that you saw, like there's a card for each one of those. And some of those cards, like ancestries and communities, you have more than one. I think it's like 271 cards.
Are they like alternate? Are they alternate rules? Or are they just like variant art?
They're just the rules. So the idea is that you keep those. When you get enough, like when you get to level 5, you start getting a vault because you can only keep 5 in your loadout, which is your main screen, I guess. And then when you start getting more of those domain cards, you have to put domain cards in your vault that you can't access until you take a short rest, or you use a hope.
So it's a loadout
draw
kind of
them
thing.
out. Yeah,
it's a hand size. Okay, that's an interesting.
Yeah, it's sort of like using they wanted a function to like balance to make it easier. They don't want one of the things that they wanted to try and limit was analysis paralysis. If you only have so many things to do or look at, this is it in your hand. This is it. So this is what you can do.
Okay, that's interesting. I definitely would need like. I definitely like. I'm definitely impressed with it. I'm in a good. I don't know if I'm gonna like buy it or buy it yet or anything because like I run too many games in like other systems.
Yeah, for sure. But I understand entirely.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely. This was also my first time using the start playing system to like meet up with people. So
I hope that I've given you a good impression of it. There are plenty of DMs out there.
Yeah, I actually. So I'm actually in like in a like actual play podcast regular cast, and we've mostly been doing. We mostly just do like podcasts, but we don't like. I've only like recently learned about the start playing system, so I'm gonna try to like do a because we'll do some like interview episodes and stuff, and so I'm thinking about like interviewing some people about about like their experience with start playing, as well as like because like like being a professional GM is like kind of a job category I'm very intrigued by. So
Yeah. I will say I am lucky to have the people that I do have. There are some tricks of the trade, like if you have some friends that you don't want to charge, I guess is the way I'd put it. You put them in there because
okay,
a lot of the times it's like I'm not going to join this game until it looks like it's actually going to take off.
sure.
So
yeah, I've been very fortunate by having like two very regular groups, so like I haven't needed to like go to like an organized like and before that I like was what I did go to like organized like Pathfinder Society like pretty regularly, so like I know in terms of like paying for a spot at a table, it's about what a one night a Pathfinder Society would have been at like a friendly local game store. So I'm intrigued. I'm probably gonna try to like play in some more games. I might try to run something on it at some point in the future because I want to try to get both aspects for it. But yeah, no, this was a good experience. I'm very intrigued by the game. I don't know if I'll be able to play it anytime soon because I got like so many other systems and
your stack of unplayeds, I'm sure.
Oh no, I mean honestly, if anything, I actually get through them pretty quick because like I do kind of prioritize like the lighter system stuff. And yeah, like again, right now I'm in Heart and it's so good. Love Heart. But yeah, I had a great time. I'm gonna head
Thank
out.
you.
So yeah, thank you for the game.
Thanks
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you, Chris.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys. Take care.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks everybody.
And so that is an intro game of Daggerheart. I apologize for the early stream issues. About halfway through, you get to enjoy the game. And hopefully we'll have more of that. I'll see you in the next episode.